let's get started. So let's meet everybody first. So would you introduce yourself and say what your role is here at Wrigley Mansion?
I'm Jamie Hormel, owner of the Wrigley Mansion since 1992.
Chef Christopher Gross, director and chef of Christopher's at the Wrigley Mansion. Just 3 months old.
Oh, wow. It's a new venture for you then, huh? Kind of. New venture, old venture?
Very new venture.
Yeah.
It's a great having an opportunity that everything is Jamie's done here with the Wrigley Mansion and letting that happen.
Yeah, what you're doing is different than what you've done before.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, quite a view you have now, right?
I feel like Captain Kirk.
And before we get into it, my co-host here.
Yes, Luke Irvin, co-publisher of A Taste of AZ magazine, along with you, Eric, and co-host of Taste of AZ podcast.
And equally as big of a fan as food and drink as I am, probably.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't know. Pretty close, though. I'm mentoring him. Well, so let's go back to where are you guys from originally? You said Missouri, Christopher, right? Okay. Grew up in Missouri?
Till I was 12.
Okay.
And then my mother moved out here, of course, with me in tow. I think I started 8th grade here.
Okay.
At Longview Grade School here in Phoenix.
Why Arizona from Missouri?
I think we had some family here.
Okay.
So it was, and I would still probably have my paper out if the paper still exists in Trenton. It's a little town of 6,000 people.
Well, actually, we have a magazine that distributes. You could be our delivery guy.
Yeah.
Relive the old days.
I got a bicycle, motorcycle, car. Either way.
Yeah.
After this podcast, I may need that job.
That's right. Well, so you grew up in Missouri, moved to Arizona. Had you been here before?
We had one short trip. I think that was I didn't know it, but that was an exploration visit for my mother to see if this is something that can be done. She was, I think, probably out here scouting for an insurance job. She was insurance agent, cars, homeowners, and stuff like that.
Okay, gotcha. She brought you out, and what was it? What was it growing up? I'm not gonna ask you what your age is, but in that time, what was it like? What was Phoenix like?
For me as a young kid, it was like gigantic, spread out, very bright, sunny, coming from a little town in northern Missouri where you actually knew everyone or everyone knew you. So you had to be careful, if you were borrowing someone's paper or, doing anything. It was just vast. It was kind of a little bit of a shock.
Sure. Yeah. And the temperature, obviously, right? I mean,
yeah.
Because Missouri is, they call it Missouri, right?
Well, no, I called it Missouri. I got here, they said Missouri, and then when I moved to France to work, they said Missouri, and I go, yeah. That's right.
Because the number doesn't get as high, but that humidity is brutal. Yeah. Was food part of your life growing up, like family?
No, it was like anti-food. So, coming from a small town, my grandmother lived next door, pretty close to the school. After my first lunch in first grade, I had one in the cafeteria, and then I got a pass to go home and or go to my grandmother's and eat every day. So I haven't had I've had one cafeteria meal in grade school.
First and only.
But you went home to have like fried bologna, not to have like gourmet meals.
Fish sticks, fried bologna, bacon, cheese sandwiches, no condiments, zero sauces, no salads.
He's still like that. That's how he eats.
So, if I indulge in fast food, which I certainly do, sometimes you want that, just a hamburger and a milkshake, it'll be, I would like a plain hamburger with cheese, no sauce, no condiments, no garnish. Please, just meat, bun, and cheese.
Okay.
And I'll reiterate that, because I don't like the taste. It's not a food phobia. I just don't like the flavor of some things.
Yeah. That's impressive. Yeah. Oh, so this could be huge right here. What is Christopher Gross's recommendation for a quick cheeseburger in Phoenix?
Oh gosh, I don't know. I go back and forth. There's the gourmet cheeseburger,
sure.
nice medium rare, a nice bun and all of that. And then there's that sort of childhood or food memory
Yeah.
where it's been squished flat, or a smash burger full of what Jamie's going to go, grease, in the bun dripping out of your sandwich. That's a really good one too.
Sometimes it's good. I like In-N-Out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
With
stand.
I do put French fries on top of my hamburger.
Ooh, inside, like
Inside,
take off
yeah, and a chocolate shake is that's wonderful.
Wow, that's simplicity at its best right there. Yes.
And now I'm very hungry.
I know. Why? So I grew up in Ohio, but right on the border of Ohio and Pennsylvania. So we had Primanti Brothers, where French fries on sandwiches was like, that's what they did.
So that's a good thing.
Yeah, right? Yeah, and steak salads too, like steak salads, chicken salads. I came out here and I ordered a steak salad, and there was no French fries. I'm like, what the hell is this? Like, we don't ever do that. So I always would have to get a side of French fries. But I'm trying to get healthier. I'm not doing that as much these days.
Moderation.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
You can only eat so much foie gras.
Yeah. Yeah. What exactly is foie gras?
Foie gras?
I would say, right?
So foie gras, foie, liver, gras, fat.
Okay.
Fattened liver of duck or goose, foie gras de oie, foie gras de canard. And I suppose their livers fatten up so easily, for that long trip during the summer and the winter for migration. They store energy in their liver. It created in the Egyptian times, and then carried through Eastern Europe, and then to places like France, and became a delicacy. So it's nicely. Oh gosh, Peter's going to be force fed.
Okay.
I've been to the nice farms. They do run up and they're hungry.
Yeah.
But it's about 1.5 pounds to 2 pound liver, and
Wow.
it doesn't taste like liver. It tastes, it's incredible if you saute it or cooked cold in a terrine. But
Is
it's
that
been
the
around.
fat? Is that the fat that keeps it from having that livery flavor?
Yeah.
The fat content
Yeah.
has such a.
So
yeah.
if you get a poor quality foie gras, it will taste like liver a bit. But it's delicious. It's been around since the Egyptian times.
Interesting. We need to get some.
Yeah, I had pate for the first time at a Four Peaks dinner that we attended, and it was definitely a novel flavor for me.
Oh,
yeah.
Not having something like that before. So it doesn't taste so much like pate then, does it?
What? No, not really. Pate is a mixture of ingredients. Usually could be like 1/4 fat, 1/4 of the product that you want it to be. Let's say duck, rabbit, and then 50% pork. And you just grind it all together, seasonings and stuff, and then you cook it in a container.
I could be wrong, but I think the one that we tried was using beef liver, because it was the dinner at Four Peaks was with a local cattle company, Perry Landon Cattle, who is featured in the most recent issue, and that was a cool
great
dinner. Yeah, definitely check it out if you haven't already. But yeah, that was a cool experience to have a dinner from Four Peaks prepared with beef from a local cattle rancher who actually receives spent wort from Four Peaks to feed their cattle. So one of those cool kind of closed loop operations. That was a cool experience.
Oh yeah, that's we did that once. We took over a restaurant, and it had a brewery in it. And it's going to cost a lot of money to remove the brewery. Let's just keep it going. And it was a brasserie, so that's the true sense of what a brasserie is, making beer. It's sort of lost that in France, associated with beer. But the wort would be picked up by a pig farmer.
Yeah. That's what we love that stuff. Like
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. Well, so where did it go? How did food come into your life?
I don't know. Well, growing up here, she's heard the story a million times. The neighbors had raced motocross. I wanted to do the same thing. We didn't really have the money to buy me a bike, so my mom said, "Get a job. I'll sign for it. You miss one payment, it goes back." And I never missed a payment. And so I started off, the most glamorous job was at 31 Flavors on Central and Camelback, slinging ice cream. And then I actually was a janitor at a pie shop, but a commercial pie shop. from after school to like 10, 11 o'clock at night. And then I was a janitor over one summer that's no longer there, Jack in the Box. Basically cleaning it from 12 to 8 in the morning.
Wow.
I remember my first critique was some high schoolers, I mean, I was in high school, older seniors coming in around 1 o'clock, probably been drinking or whatever, and ordered hamburgers, and then came around, looped around. I opened the window up again to see what else they wanted, and they threw the burgers at me. The buns were burnt completely black.
Wait, so you weren't a janitor, you were a failed cook.
I was a failed cook and janitor too. You should have seen our health report. But again, it was to buy, bikes, and then I stepped it up. John's, Green Gables, 24th Street, and Thomas, I believe. It was sort of the steakhouse of its time. Still, no love for food. I was eating a little better. I wasn't eating well done and all that stuff, steaks. And then they opened up the Adams Hotel here in town. They blew it up, excuse me, and put in just a great crew in there, great team, international crew. And then I started seeing food that I've never even heard of before, seen, tasted. And I think I kind of fell in love with it there. Plus, turning 18, you got to take care of yourself. Or, what am I going to do? I tried off on-the-job training at the Scottsdale Progress as an offset photographer. Okay. That doesn't exist anymore.
What is that? What is an offset?
It's setting up the ads and everything on a piece of paper, shooting it, making a copy so it can be produced on a plate, that the plate goes and, does the newspapers. Okay. But that's where I think I really fell in love with food. This is interesting. It's never ending to learn. And when it went Chapter 11, everyone dispersed and everyone said I should go to L.A. So I ended up in L.A. working some nice hotels and restaurants. Okay.
And at that point, did you know, like, this is it? This is this thing for me?
And it was always like this thing, everyone's trying to get rid of me. I thought, at John's, Green Gables, go to the Adams Hotel. At the Adams Hotel, you should go to L.A. I got to L.A., you should really go to Europe.
They just recognize the talent, that's all.
Yeah. So I went to London as an illegal alien for a year working. Okay. And that was really the big change. I was going to a hotel. They couldn't hire me because of papers. And I think the hotel sent a lot of reservations to this little small French restaurant. I went in, applied there at their recommendation, and I think they offered me $20 a day to work a split shift, 6 days. And I said yes. I came back, I worked my first shift. When I came back, they said for the second shift, they go, we're going to pay you the equivalent of $40 a day. We only told you 20 because we didn't want to hire you. Didn't think you'd take it. So I stayed there for about a year, and then I wrote 100 letters to all the 1, 2, 3-star Michelin restaurants in Paris. Went to a printer, had them all printed off, sent a letter of demand for work in French and English. The chef wrote it in French for me. My French was still bad. But it was vague. It was vague. So I got a job in a little 2-star restaurant. And then, like, one of the kids there goes like, okay, I speak English. The chef wants to know, what do you like? Sports, this stuff. And I started telling him, and he goes, so how long did you work in London? And I go, well, I worked about a year at this one place. And he goes, okay, where else did you work? And I go, in London? I go, nowhere. He goes, where else in Britain? I go, nowhere. And he goes, you effing boy, you want to work here in this restaurant? You've only got a year experience? And I go, no, I worked in California. I worked in Arizona. He goes, you're an American. And I go, yeah? He goes, they think you're English. Paperwork, and you can get it. And I go, oh, okay. So then there's this big huddle and everyone talking real fast. I couldn't hardly pick up any words. And they said, oh, well, the American ambassador comes here. We can maybe get you. We can figure it out. Took 6 months to figure out, no, you can't. And they said, we like you. You have insurance. If you cut yourself, go out on the street and say you did it on something out there, or you're flat. Careful about getting caught on the street with your, dirty clothes going home. And just, you don't work here, and don't tell any of the staff you don't have papers. Yeah. And so, but when the chef says go, you run out the back door. And I'd have to do that several times because work inspector, the French love to pay people under the table, so they'd go look in the books. Oh, you got 10 employees. How come there's 20 down there? I would have been a bonus point.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah.
But that's, you know, then that really sealed it. I mean, 2 years over there.
Yeah, that's it. So you had to. There's some talent there. Obviously, like you said, they saw the talent. Jamie, you said that. Because
She was kidding.
Yeah, but it seems like they worked around to make sure that you could stay there and do that. That seemed pretty.
Yeah, I mean, I worked hard, and, you
Yeah.
know, and I was there every day, and you know, my idea, even in the letter of application that I mailed, I said, you know, give me a job, don't pay me. I'll work as a dishwasher. I'll get my job done so fast. I'll go over and start, you know, cleaning mushrooms, peeling potatoes, or whatever. And they took me as a cook, but they didn't know where I was from, obviously.
Right.
That's quite a journey and a lot of risks taken for doing what you were doing. You must have had a fervent passion to make it happen.
I had a passion to do it. It was I like to learn. I think there's one, you know, experience working at this big hotel, the Century Plaza in Los Angeles. I had taken a nice position there. I was like second lead sauce cook. You know, it's a huge hotel, does 2,000-3,000 people for banquets. And I was responsible for everything in every banquet room. And then I saw a lot of guys and girls my age that as apprentices, and some of the other cooks, all they wanted to do was wear that big paper hat and, you know, the neckerchief and sit in the glass enclosed chef room and go out and scream at everybody.
Yeah.
And I wanted to learn as much as I could. You can never learn it all. But I would see, you know, people above me going like, how do you make that? How's that done? And like, I don't want to, you know, I'm never not going to be in that position, but I didn't want to be in that position. I wanted to know as much as I could, and there's still something I learn every day.
Yeah.
So
That's pretty awesome.
that's
Yeah.
where it all came together. It also at the Century Plaza, and then that was when the chef said, we have some apprentices that graduated coming back from London, coming back from Norway, from their properties that they had. They're probably going to take your job. He was always like, you know,
Yeah.
saying, someone's going to take your job. And then I said, well, you know, I'd like to go over there. And he goes, you're not an apprentice, you're not in that program. And I go, but I'd still like to go. And he goes, when you want to go? And I go, give me enough time, 6 months, I can save. I figured I needed $4,000, and I can save $4,000 in 6 months, sell everything I own, you know, a motorcycle, a car. And I said, okay, I'm ready. And they made a connection. I got at the hotel, and they go, when you coming over? And I go, oh, I'm here. Oh, where are you at? In your lobby. You know? So, you know, it was nice to have that connection from the hotel, that the food and beverage manager comes down and goes like, well, okay, let's see. Where are you staying? I go, I don't know yet.
I sold my car. That's where I was.
And it was the Royal Lancaster Hotel, kind of posh place. And we'll give you I think I had like a $35 equivalent rate to stay there for 5 days till they helped me find a job, and then I found an apartment.
Yeah.
So,
Well, so what is it about the French approach to like cooking and that whole French cuisine? Like, what is it about that makes it so special?
well, it's, you know, they refined cooking. You know, there's the story that the Medici family came to the Lyon area, and then the French ignored all of their techniques but grabbed them and refined them.
Okay.
It was during the Italian Renaissance, on its downside, that a lot of Italian influence came to southern France. And they just refined it, and it's the finesse of cooking, either in its simplest form, or a bistro, which it's not really simple, or its most sophisticated, which is like the opera, or, you know, the theater, or something like that, taken to an extreme, Formula One.
Yeah.
And it kind of trickles up and trickles down. The things you learn in the real complicated cuisine, you can take and make it simplified for like a bistro or a brasserie. It's never ending. The world's opened up. You can get anything from anywhere, the best ingredients. And it's fun to put one of my things to the people working around me when we're putting up a dish, if it doesn't put a smile on your face, don't put it up. It's got to make you happy.
Yeah.
To make the customer happy.
And you learned all those techniques that can take you to any other type of cooking.
Absolutely. And that's one thing about, cooking today. A lot of people are like seeing everything on the internet and everything, all these things are available. Like a lot of the younger cooks they haven't been learning the basic, so it's hard to expand. You know,
Sure.
you see all the little tricky little things in a sauce, or she has an affectionate name for one where the sauce is speared across the plate.
No, we won't go there.
I have a feeling I know what that might be.
You ever see a dog drag its butt?
You had to go there.
Edit number 1 for Luke.
Yeah.
Oh no, I think I said that. I'm sorry.
So what you're saying is kind of bypassing the fundamentals
Yeah.
of it to just kind of do something quick and flashy.
Yeah, but, I stumbled across, through the last 10, 20, whatever time span, someone's really good. They're really a hard worker. They can do what you show them. They're neat, clean. And then when you ask for something just super simple, I've never done that before. I'm like, how do you get from point A to, C without discovering B? Or I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, so
sorry.
Jamie, tell us a little bit about your background.
Yeah.
Where did you grow up?
I grew up in San Diego and moved to LA when I was 18. As soon as I could get out of the house,
Right.
go get to find some excitement in LA. And,
Was San Diego not exciting?
well, not for me.
Sure. 'Cause it was home?
Well, it was home. We lived inland. We didn't live by the beach or
Okay.
anything. I was over by San Diego State, so that part of San Diego.
Okay.
So I moved to LA and then met my husband, Jordy, and we moved to Arizona a couple years later, just out of the blue. He used to get unique homes, and he saw the home that we bought in that magazine, so we went to visit it, and we were having one of those monsoons. So it was like incredible, the weather, the lightning, the wind and everything, and we just fell in love with Arizona.
You fell in love with that. That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's a good thing. Yeah, because most people are like, that's crazy, right? Where
Yeah, it was
I'm the
amazing.
same. I see it. I think it's fantastic. My wife, she works in commercial real estate, so that a storm means stuff's getting damaged at her building.
Yeah. No good.
Yeah, but that's really cool. You guys saw that and fell in love with it.
Oh yeah, and we loved the people, and the storms are like frightening and beautiful. So it's like that two sides, and sometimes your lights go out, and so it was pretty exciting.
That's when I stop liking it.
When the lights go out. Yeah.
Don't mess with the fridge or the lights or anything. Yeah. So what path were you on at that point? Like you went to LA. Did you have an idea?
Destructive? I don't know. That was my path.
Well, so no, I'm sorry. Then you get to Phoenix, so you get to Arizona.
Yeah.
And how did this building?
So we
Come
were
to the picture.
here a year, and this was for sale, and somebody went to Jordy and said, hey, there's this amazing, beautiful place that they're saying they're going to tear down and build condos. And he came up here, and it reminded him of the home he grew up in Austin, Minnesota. And he just felt the vibes here and fell in love with this place and bought it immediately. His lawyer said, okay, I'm going to sign off. I'm telling you, don't buy it.
Yeah.
This is a bad idea. But it was a great idea, and it's been a great thing. He would come up here every single Sunday for Sunday brunch, play music, and our kids grew up here. So it's been wonderful.
It's unbelievable to think that they were going to rip this place down, because, I mean, any direction you look in any part that I've been in so far, the detail work is incredible.
Yeah.
And it's not just, a stunning property and a stunning location, but the level of detail blows my mind. I can't even believe it. I've not been in too many places like this. So was that a major inspiration for you guys getting this property, is to kind of save it from that destruction?
Yeah, we wanted to save it from the destruction and keep it here for the people of Arizona to have, because we don't have that many places that are this old and interesting to see. So we like keeping it for travelers as well to come.
When was this
visit.
property built?
1931. It was built for Ada Wrigley as a 50th wedding anniversary. William was building the Biltmore. He was part of the Biltmore Hotel project and was looking up and saw the hill site up here and made this home for his wife.
Do you know what was up here at the time? Was there anything up here?
Dirt.
Just dirt. Just a dirt
Yeah.
hill.
And even when they built the house, it was probably a lot of dirt because there wasn't irrigation and
Yeah.
things like that back
Yeah.
then.
Well, he definitely had a good eye for location because, I mean, you walk out on some, like, even when we just drove up to the front and I, like, look to my right and you just see the whole valley. It's an incredible feeling. And, you know, you go out the back of the wine bar over here and it's the same thing, just beautiful views. I can't imagine what it's like up here during those recent monsoons where it was crackling with lightning every 2 seconds. Yeah.
Yeah, I was having dinner up here during one of them, and it was just lightning everywhere. It was such a show. Spectacular.
Yeah, me and my girlfriend just moved into a new place, and the front of the house has just big, huge windows, which is awesome. And when one of the craziest monsoons was going off, it was more bright than the fireworks shows from the 4th of July. It was pretty incredible. We turned the lights off, and it literally looked like someone was doing a photo shoot in the home. The flashes were that wild.
Yeah. But that's what
Yeah.
makes it so beautiful too, right? It's
Yeah.
that the power of it. It's like, oh man, that's
Seriously.
that could do some damage.
And then a crack of thunder goes, and the cats go flying, and you don't see them for the rest of the night.
Yeah.
So once you guys got into this property, because you did a recent renovation, what was the process like of getting in here? Did you just kind of move in and it felt like home, or did you put your touch on it right away?
I wasn't involved until probably 96, but when we first got it, there was some work to be done, and we were able to stay for 2 weeks upstairs in Mrs. Wrigley's room, and so we slept here, which was kind of fun.
Yeah.
And then we opened, and of course, it's just been a work in progress ever since, you know, making mistakes, figuring things out, battling an old home and
Sure.
all the problems that it has, the leaking pipes and stuff like that. So it's always a work in progress. We're never done.
So what was
Yeah.
it functioning as when you guys took over and kind of put your touch on it?
Well, it was a private club that had been created by Western Savings. And if you had a certain amount of money in the bank, you could come up here and enjoy the club.
It's a pretty good perk.
Yeah.
Do you have to show them like your ATM receipt or something?
Yeah. I think you had to hold an account with them, I think.
Okay.
So
I think they went bankrupt.
Oh, did
yeah,
they?
that was that whole Western savings and loan
Debacle.
Yeah, it was
yeah.
like quite the thing.
My bank perks are like 0.01% on savings. I'm like, oh, cool.
But you probably still have your money in the bank.
That's true.
I try and shuffle it around elsewhere at this point. So
So we have 2 homeowners associations, so we are required to be a private club.
Okay.
So that's part of the stumbling is how we manage that, because we've always wanted people to be able to come up and see this home and enjoy the home. And we're not kind of private club type people. Not that there's a type of person, but like we just didn't want to have to charge people to enjoy this beautiful place. But it's part of what we need to do. So we try to create more value in memberships.
I think they were just trying to protect themselves, like some big developer could come in without the nice mind thought of preserving this
Okay.
property
Yeah.
and scrape it and, you know, put a big Kentucky Fried Chicken on top.
Yeah,
or
peop-
something.
the,
So-
the neighborhood doesn't want to lose the control of this spot. That would be terrible if somebody did do that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Bad for
So
bad
I'm
for
sure
Phoenix. Sad
KFC
for
would
Phoenix.
love to do that, though.
Can you see a big bucket up here?
Well, you
We're
got the
looking for
drive-through built
investors.
in, and then you just go back down.
or the Golden Arches.
Oh, wow.
There you go.
Yeah.
Big boy, the big boy guy, right? Like Dr. Evil, didn't he?
At least you'll have a nice fast food burger nice and close, though.
Yeah,
That does-
yeah.
Yeah.
We'll have a memory is just a step away.
So I think right now we're at a really good point where we provide a nice place for our neighbors as well to come up and
Yeah.
bring their friends, and kind of like we try to keep this like a big family place. My mom paints rocks, and everybody gets a rock with
nice.
their bill, and she
Yeah.
did his menu, Christopher's menu, and
Well, and
So-
the pricing structure is very reasonable. Not to say that you only have that in place to meet the structure that is necessary with having the private club, but it's not, like $500 a month that someone, can't really afford to
Yeah.
come and enjoy the place. And that's part of your guys' mentality with what you've turned the Wrigley Mansion into, correct?
Right. Yeah, we want to have everybody be able to afford to come up.
And there's
Enjoy
tourists
it.
too
Yeah.
for tourists. Buses come up here, around 20 people at a time, and they go through the whole property and the stories about the building and everything.
Yeah.
And so as far as the property as it stands now, give us kind of the breakdown of what is here and almost what someone might see if they came on a tour.
Well, they see the historical mansion and all the kind of restoration that's been done, the road up and everything. The landscaping's beautiful now, so you got to be impressed with that. And coming up, you see the city. It's got to be the best view, centrally located in the valley, really.
Yeah.
I think. And then it's been repainted. You see this gigantic, it's 30,000 square feet mansion. The stairs coming up the front is beautiful, and then you just walk in the foyer where you enter. If you look up, that ceiling's gorgeous, and all the rooms and stuff. And there's pictures of how the rooms were originally when they lived here, and some of them.
And how they did this in 1930.
Oh, wow.
How they built this.
Aliens.
Yeah. But I mean, like coming up the hill, and the Wrigleys brought a lot of the tiles from the bathroom from Catalina. So those had to be by ship, and then.
Yeah.
So it's an amazing project when you think about that time period and what life was like back then.
So what else is in here? So you have
Jamie's Wine Bar,
which is where we're at here.
Yeah, you could grab a glass of wine, some appetizers. It's a little more intimate place for conversation.
Okay.
Next door is Jordy's Cocktail Lounge. And to the left would be where you would go through the doors and have dinner in Jordy's dining room.
Ah, interesting.
And that was a patio, and we enclosed it.
Okay.
Oh, really?
To the right would have been the main family dining room, the formal dining room, which we do seat in there occasionally.
Ooh, that'd be pretty interesting. Yeah.
So, and then connected to where we dine now is the living room, where we have a Steinway player piano from 1928, I believe, one of two. And you could have high tea or afternoon tea in there. So we offer that in the fall and spring.
Lunch and dinner?
What?
Lunch and dinner.
Lunch and dinner. We have Christopher's out front in his new building for lunch and dinner.
Dinner, soon brunch.
Oh, I've heard the lunches up here are pretty legendary, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, of course.
And so is the Christopher's building, was that constructed from scratch, or was
Yes.
there something there beforehand?
There's a patio that would take about, they could do some parties here of like maybe 80 to 100, like a wedding or something.
Or outdoor music and dinner. We did
Yeah.
a lot of music and dinner.
Okay.
But a little underutilized. And then I had the idea of just a little greenhouse.
Okay. Just wanted to grow your own produce?
No, as a restaurant, a small 26 seat
Okay.
restaurant out of glass. And so she gave the green light, and then we got
For the greenhouse.
for a greenhouse. It's a little more than a greenhouse now. And, the whole idea about it, once we got the architect and everything approved, it was to, be out of glass, a roof that opens up. Because it's a restaurant in Paris. Everyone went to and goes, have you been there? They don't talk about the food or the service. They talk about the roof opens up. So it's a partial glass roof that opens up.
That's yours does that?
Mm-hmm.
No, but people don't talk about that as much as the bathroom. I feel like
Yeah.
the bathroom was your beginning dream.
Probably. No, we've always had kind of funky bathrooms. Christopher's and Crush Lounge, the Fermier. And so, yeah, there's a floor to... It's pretty remarkable when you walk in.
Okay. So
it's-
you're not going to tell us what it is? We have to experience it for ourselves?
It's a room with a view.
Okay.
Oh, really?
And, cooking on fire. We're cooking out in front of you. We've done something that was kind of it's been a benefit, but it was kind of an accident. It wasn't with COVID in mind. There's a really tough labor problem right now for the hospitality industry.
Yeah.
But I wanted to kind of give something back to the culinarians, the cooks and stuff, because most of our jobs that cooks have, you're paid like $80-$100 for a shift, and then it's just the way it is. You hear a server go like, "Wow, that table was fantastic! I just got $400." Walking home with that, and it's like, and you go like, it's going to get better. You're going to be a chef. Going to be a sous chef, but I wanted them to know what goes on after they put the plate in the window, and to know the other half of the business. So when they go and open up something one day, it's just not making food for food. You're going to learn about wine, what goes with it, service, how the guests interact. You can see that smile that you put on the plate, that you'll see it from the guest. And so we train, it's just one team over there. And so some nights the cooks everyone will be prepping, and then half will go out and be your servers. So that's been an ordeal, training. Instead of like screaming in the kitchen, we don't scream in the kitchen. We're in the dining room now. The mannerisms and stuff like that. But they learn about wine. They learn about proper service.
It's a pretty amazing program.
That sounds incredible. Yeah,
I've never heard of anything like that.
Yeah.
But so it's one team. So the tip that's left is shared equally amongst all non-salaried employees. So the host gets a same amount as the lead cook gets, as the dishwasher gets. So it was kind of a little touching. You smiled a little bit. The first check that everyone got, the dishwasher was opening it up, and it's like, I've never seen a check this big before. We had some great, we always have great guests, but we had some that really hit the wine list pretty hard. And so that bills coming out, and it was a large party, and some places do an autograd, 6 or more, and I said, don't you touch that. Let them leave. Someone spends $20,000 on wine, they know exactly what they want to leave.
Sure.
And one of the managers goes, what happens if they leave nothing? I'll invite them back tomorrow for free if they spend $15,000. They go, don't worry about it. These are good people. And they left 25%.
Wow.
So on a social media post, one of my team members is posting a 65-inch color TV that he just bought because his check was massive.
Yeah.
So that's been really great. And they all kick in. They all pitch in from, cleaning the floor, polishing the glasses, chopping vegetables, learning every station, learning about wine. And then when we say, okay, you're out on the floor tonight, you're back here in the kitchen. But then when we get a little, maybe all comes at once together, then all of us from the back of the line, when that plate's up, we walk around, pick it up, and serve it to you. And we can all tell you pretty much what's in it because we made it.
What is the feeling like when, you talked about how as you were coming up in the restaurant world, you were lucky to get $40 for a shift instead of $20, and now you're setting up a program that I don't know if it's modeled off of something else, but it's obviously somewhat revolutionary in the industry to be doing something like that.
Well, it's been, done and stuff, I think, in other major cities, but I think it was a way to pay everybody because there was so much money. You take a restaurant like New York that, a restaurant's doing $30 million a year, and they're busy from 5 to 11:30 at night. It doesn't take much more staffing to do that. They're just beat up at the end of the night, and that's a lot of money, and it was being dispersed. And I think a few people got in trouble for that because you can't disperse it to pay salaried employees and stuff like that. But it really, I think the major part of the idea came, Jamie and I was dining in a really nice restaurant, I think a unique restaurant in Copenhagen called Relais. And the first thing we noticed was, it was a small restaurant, there's no silverware. So I stole the idea. Yeah. But there's a drawer, and that's all your silverware, so you set your own table. So it's like I don't need any servers. Kitchen can do this. And then that kept resonating in my mind that, we can do that. That'll cut part of the service down to make it to training faster. And it's kind of, it's fun for the guest. Like, okay, how am I supposed to eat this? and you pull open the door and they smile, And through our travels, there's lots of little things we've seen and learned that we put into this restaurant.
Not to mention all the local little things like Solari and.
So Ed Mel was up here one time, and he's come to the old restaurant a lot, and he's actually doing a piece for Jordy's.
Oh yeah, he's doing a spectacular piece for our dining room.
Oh wow!
Super excited.
So he's super nice, and I cornered him one time when he was up here, and I'm still thinking like, what can I make, or maybe he make now? And I said, hey, I don't want to insult you or anything, so tell me, excuse me if I am asking this question, but you do some metal work and stuff like that. And I go, if anything dropped off by accident, could we maybe refabricate it into like a candlestick holder? Or I wanted functional performance art from artists.
Yeah.
So still working on that one. We ended up getting some special lights for the tables. So, but I went to Arcasante and said kind of the same thing. This isn't like I'm killing your art, but can you take and turn some of these bells into cloches or domes for some of the food?
Oh, yeah.
And so they said, absolutely. So, and it's actually a working Solari bell.
Yeah.
With some of the original engravings that they use from Pablo Solari. And so that's on one course. And then I said, can you make some wine coasters? There's usually those silver discs that you put the wine bottle on.
Yeah.
So they put all the team got together over there, and they all decorated about 36 of them. So if you order a bottle of wine, we place the Arcasante disc down that has their engravings in on it. Another local, she's lived here since '86, I think. Rotraut Klein Morquet. She's the widow of Yves Klein, and famous for the blue artwork. That's like millions and millions of dollars. And she's a super accomplished artist as well, doing large steel structure art. Lives here in the valley, and that's the first painting you'll see. It's of like the galaxy. I think it's one of them that's the larger is hanging in the Phoenix Art Museum today. And then I was always kind of fascinated with her husband's artwork, and there's this iconic shot of him jumping out of a 2-story building in France somewhere in a swan dive, in a full suit.
Yeah.
And so they were nice enough to send the image, can use it once, print it this size, and sign here never to sell it.
Wow.
So that's also in the restaurant, and we're still working on some other things.
I know in my head what that picture looks like. I'm going to see if it looks like like a picture of himself jumping out of a building into a swan dive. That's pretty incredible.
So, and the family's been coming to the Wrigley Mansion and the old Christopher's back in the day since the early 90s.
Gotcha.
So none of us here are locals to Arizona. Eric and I are in love with the state, but you two have both had your roots here for a significant amount of time as well. What is it about Arizona that you guys love personally, besides the monsoons?
Well, I love the people. I think we have great people here, and I love the wide open spaces and the ease of living. It's such an easy place to live. We have everything you would ever need. And we have a great airport. You could just pop in and go anywhere and be back here. I don't know.
I always joked about, we have monsoons. It's a little hot. No earthquakes, mudslides, no major fires in the city. We do have not too many natural disasters like, the West Coast and everything. And if you want to get out to the airport, it's easy to.
But now we have so many great restaurants. We have a lot of great arts programs here now. And
well, you mentioned the great people, and then you mentioned the great food scene as well. I think those are two of the things that just kind of blow my mind, because I've not traveled too many different places, but I've talked to plenty of chefs at this point that confirm that Arizona has a pretty special food scene. Is that a sentiment that you would both agree with?
Absolutely.
I do.
And it's getting better all the time.
It's grown. It's been fun to see it grow. And I feel like a lot of our chefs care about trying to buy local and support our farmers, which is so important. So I like to see that
Yeah, absolutely.
as well.
Yeah.
So what are some of the local things? I mean, you went through a lot of the art there, but I assume you incorporate some local ingredients as well, correct?
Yeah, from some local farmers. Every once in a while, well, what we're really waiting on is a friend of mine. He's a friend. No, James Porter. I don't know if you've. Yeah.
I've met him one time. Yeah.
So he's doing.
They're doing amazing things.
That's
They're
it.
really
Prescott.
doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're just waiting for them to really get online, but they've been sending some produce to us. They're raising some great burying pigs. Some of the cattle that we've tasted, some of the steaks are fantastic. We deal through one local company that forages through all the farmers, and it just puts it all in one sort of order.
So you have like a produce concierge kind of for
Yeah,
to help.
but
That's
we
good.
we do shop everywhere
Okay.
across the United States, because there's it's like wine, for example. There's a reason Burgundy's so expensive, because it's the climate, the microclimate, and everything to get the best of the best.
Yeah.
You mentioned wine. I'm curious. Tell me a little bit about your guys' various drinks program. You have the wine bar here, the cocktail lounge.
Yeah, you can.
I was gonna say, because he's the wine guy as well, right? Like,
Well, no, Paul Embry is the wine director, does all the purchasing for the wine, and is quite brilliant.
Oh my gosh, she has a great wine program.
And she's a great negotiator too. So we have a lot of history. We were partners in the restaurants, and if we were in a deal, and I'm negotiating with you, and I'm a fair guy, and it just wasn't working, I go, let me get Paul. You'll be giving it away, and just to get out. Let me go, please.
just be like, hey, you asked for it, okay.
But she's brilliant. We started a wine program back in 1990 with 100 wines by the glass, and then she took it over and did things like not just going for the no-brainers. I think the wine list at the Wrigley is we have stuff that everybody knows that's popular that I can't sell you. You come in and you just ask for it.
Yeah.
Then we have obscure wines that are really great value, so we want everyone to trust us. And it's, again, if you don't like something, send it back. I'll drink it.
We have fun wine flights.
Intoxicated most of the night.
And we have good. Our wine membership is 20% off of bottles for members.
Okay.
And then
That's a killer
in
deal.
July we did half off all of July for members.
So I think it's one of the most aggressive wine programs in the state.
She's gotten us a lot of good awards.
As I think the largest wine seller, Jamie has really been do it, get those things, make it happen, and she's just come down with some of the greatest wines. It's not easy to get. It has to take relationship with the distributors, the winemakers, and then going out and look where you can buy wines that are cleared, because it's hard in this state. Everything has to be cleared through a distributor.
So you could find a great wine connection somewhere,
but you can't have it. And it's not worth it doing it. So, but there's more and more companies coming out that have access to things to bring it in.
Like as far as like distribution and like more, we've noticed that in beer, there's more smaller, more agile distributors that can help these smaller brands really take off.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, we do have we have a lot of distributors here, so it's actually tough for them to keeping a hold of products. When you have the big guns come in and say, if you don't sell X amount of cases, we'll just go over to someone else.
Yeah.
But the wine program here is incredible. You have wines by the glass over here in Jamie's Wine Bar. So you can have a great selection in that wine emotion over there that preserves the wines. So you can have a taste, half a glass. You see the bottle standing up right over there.
We're at the right.
It looks like a television of wine.
Oh yeah! Wow, interesting. So what does that do? It pushes it up.
Yeah, and it puts an inert gas in so the wine doesn't oxidize.
Interesting.
So it preserves it. And
It
so
looks
you can
beautiful.
have a taste. You can have a little taste, like wow, that's there's some good stuff over there, and some of it's expensive, and
Yeah.
you don't have to commit to a full glass, or you can have your own little mini wine tasting up here.
Yeah.
So, and then we have at Christopher's we have wine flights that you could it's matched, to each course.
Okay.
So you can just
Wine pairing.
the pairings. You can just go online and at exploretalk.com/Christopher's lunch, classics, dinner, tasting menu, all that, and you can just literally go in. You pay for everything, and if you did the wine pairing, there's nothing to do. You just like no check, nothing. You just walk out.
Wow, interesting.
But there's so much versatility up here. You can have great food at Jordy's cocktail lounge. Small bites of stuff, and they'll have Anthony will mix you up a great cocktail.
Yeah, he's really creative. He's done some really fun cocktails.
Yeah.
Cocktails are the rage these days.
Yeah.
For
Yeah,
good
here's this
reason.
one that's she'll know the name. It's a smoking pot.
The
Now, it's not
Passionista.
smoking pot, but it's
Yeah.
a smoking teapot.
Well, it is legal here now.
Yes,
so,
it is. Everyone's happy. So there's so many things. And there's private dining rooms upstairs.
Okay.
So
Oh,
if you-
and eating in the kitchen.
Oh,
People
oh,
love
yeah,
to
yeah,
eat in the kitchen.
duh.
It's pretty amazing.
Duh. So the reason I said that because one of the first things when I was up here is got to go to demolish the kitchen. So it was rebuilt it from the ground up, and actually below, because there was like a basement down there, I turned that into a banquet kitchen, so it doesn't interfere with your dining experience if there's a big banquet going on here. Because it's a venue, you can do up to 200 people in what we call the garden room
Okay.
or garden terrace as well for outside dining, and the new wedding terrace up here in the front. So that was created so when you're up here dining, the parties don't interfere with your dining experience. So the kitchen's like, there's nothing like that kitchen in town. I
This
guarantee it.
kitchen you guys have?
Yeah, I'll show you
Yeah.
afterwards.
All right.
Is it a separate kitchen than the Christopher's kitchen?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought so.
So when promoted Ashley Goddard to chef de cuisine, chef de cuisine for Jordy's, I looked at it and go, I really built you a nice kitchen, didn't I? It's gorgeous. And put a chef's table
That's
in there.
Ashley, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, she was actually on the podcast once before when there was a chef collab with Atuli Produce. So Erica's actually chatted with her before. That was a funny little small world coincidence.
Yeah.
But we put a chef's table in there with a chandelier, a big window to a little balcony, and then a stairway going down to the wine cellar.
Okay. So what are some of the other recent renovations that you guys have had to do to maintain the property as it should be?
Air conditioning.
Sprinkler. We had to sprinkler the whole thing for the fire department.
Wow.
That's kind of a big job because
Sounds like an
they had to
absolutely
be-
massive job.
and they had to be really sensitive not to put the pipes anywhere that was going to disrupt like the beautiful ceilings in
Yep.
some of the rooms, and that was done really well, I thought.
So
Nice
how
job.
much of the property would you say is original approximately? Because like I look up at these chandeliers and they are just absolutely beautiful. Are those original?
No, those aren't original.
Wait, do you want to buy them?
Yeah, they're original. Yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah.
totally original. Mrs. Wrigley handpicked them out herself.
She shaved each one.
Yeah,
Carved
she
it.
carved them. So most of the furniture would not be original, except for the piano.
Okay.
And there's a dining room table. If you on the tour, they kind of point out some of the original pieces that are pretty special. But by the time we got the house, there wasn't a whole lot left. We're lucky the piano was still here, and so that. But the rooms are original, and
Like this
then
wood and stuff that we
Yeah.
see.
Oh, yeah, this is.
Yeah.
and in the breakfast room, and the things that we have changed, we tried to change drastically enough so that you would know the difference between what would be original and what wouldn't be. So that was like why Christopher's looks like Christopher's does, so that everybody could see this is an addition. This has nothing to do with
The new word I learned from the Wendell Burnett, the architect, the parasochord.
The parasochord.
Accord, and that's if you're adding onto a historical site, you can't emulate what the site looks like. It's got to be noticeably different. There you go with the pyramid in the
Louvre.
The Louvre.
Well, and it's one thing to, renovate a property and have it look nice, but to blend well with what was already existing seems to me like it would be one of the most difficult components of making it happen.
Well, he did a pretty good job. That building's kind of stealth-ish, especially from if you look up from the Biltmore Hotel.
And here I kind of put in some family things. So like upstairs we have family photos of the Wrigleys and my family, and one of the rooms has Jordy's artwork in it. So I tried to put that kind of stuff in it. And then I was inspired by Paris because a lot of the old buildings has very contemporary things inside of the building. So I thought, well, we could mix the old with the new.
Did I say Paris Accord? I think it's actually the Venice Accord. It's an accord.
We're not editing that one out. Sorry, man. That's on
That's
you,
okay. I'm a
The
chef,
accord.
not an architect.
So there's obviously a lot to choose from, but is there a favorite part of the property for either of you that really sticks out as somewhere you just find yourself going a lot?
I'm always in this room.
Yeah, this is a nice room.
Yeah, I like this room a lot.
I feel like I know where he's going to say.
Yeah, but it wasn't here before. I don't know. I like some of the private dining rooms upstairs.
Okay.
They're a really comfortable one. They're both for parties of 10 or 12 that they have an adjoining patio. It overlooks a stunning restaurant called Christopher's.
That patio is a great patio
It
to
is.
like go have a glass of champagne at sunset before you have dinner here or at
I'm sold.
Christopher's.
I know.
I want to
me
have
too.
a glass of champagne there now.
I'll be here for
Yeah.
sunrise and sunset.
And we do a great Sunday brunch.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I was talking about was the legendary brunch. It's
Yeah.
the Sunday brunch, right? Okay.
Right. So that was a big brunch that we had for years. And then with COVID, we had to reimagine it.
Sure.
And so instead of having it being buffet style, now it's served at your table.
Okay.
And you could have as much as you want. You could have 20 prime rib if that's what you want to have. But we bring it to you one plate at a time now.
That's probably good for
It'll
me.
take years for you to get that whole prime rib.
You just get a little slice.
So, one thing I have to ask, our phenomenal writer, Marcy, who you've spoken with to get her article about the Wrigley Mansion, which will come out in the next issue of Taste of AZ magazine. Keep an eye out for that in October. She mentions the Spam sandwich. Tell me about that.
Oh, the Cubano.
Don't look at me.
Well, that's one of our most popular lunch items. I think it's probably 2,000 calories.
Just for the sandwich that doesn't include the sides.
It's Spam delicious.
That was created. It's actually tasty, though. Spam is really good if you like fry it up and.
Yeah.
And one of the former
Yeah.
chefs created that here years and years ago, and it's just carried through.
And it's so cute. They serve French fries in a little Spam container. It's an adorable little.
This isn't your spot? No.
And that's an homage
We're a
to,
spam-free zone.
and that's an homage to Jordy's family, right?
Right. Yeah. We wanted to add that little part in.
Which is?
Hormel.
Hormel?
The Hormel family. Yeah.
Well, that's the funny thing. I knew when the Hormels moved here to town, and everyone just thought, pretty much Spam. And then one day, I was surprised. I go, "What is this, Jamie?" And she looked at me like, "Well, it's the Rolling Stones." And I go, yeah, I can see it's the Rolling Stones. It's like a platinum record. She goes, "Well, it's Goat's Head Soup." And I go, "Okay." So, we recorded it.
Well, it was recorded at Jordy's studio in Los Angeles. So he started the Village Recorder, the Village Studios, which was recording studio in the 70s and the 80s, and it's still there now. And
Pink Floyd, Hot
everybody.
Red Chili Peppers. Lady Gaga was there a year ago, I believe.
Yeah, he built a whole studio for Fleetwood Mac
Oh, wow.
It's as big as this building.
Where's
it
it? This is
in Los Angeles.
LA. Okay.
Yeah. So, and then he also is a musician himself, so he did a lot of.
That's the pictures up on the wall. in
Oh,
Jordy's.
him. Yeah, that's all Jordy
Yeah, okay,
in
him playing
there.
the piano right there.
Yeah, so he has an extensive sound library of a lot of musics from like Rin Tin Tin and I don't know,
Hanna-Barbera.
Hanna-Barbera,
Yogi Bear.
Night of the Living Dead. I mean, his music was in all kinds of things.
That's really
so-
cool.
I just have this surreal image right now of Fleetwood Mac in the recording studio all eating some freshly fried spam or something like that.
Yeah,
Spam.
if we-
Just like a fridge filled with, nice drinks and all that, and then at the bottom just a spam
just
shelf.
spam. All the spam you want.
Maybe
There's-
that's an idea. Mini spams in a little dispenser. You throw a buck in, pull the knob, and
Wow.
There it is, right
Who
there.
wouldn't want
I
to do
like
that?
All I'm saying, I was here to witness that idea because when that happens, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
if that happened on the exit out here for a buck,
Yeah.
a little can dropped out,
It's actually
give it all
not
to
a bad
charity.
idea.
Yeah.
Give it to
Seriously.
charity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, before you leave. Yeah.
I
dig
like it.
I do
Yeah.
too, yeah.
I hope we get involved with that as well.
Look for it.
Well, so before we wrap this up, I want to. I know we got up to the kind of the start of your career, Christopher. But what is your style? Like, what do you kind of bring to the restaurants that you? open?
It's contemporary French cuisine with, based in the classics.
Okay.
It's anything we make is something, the integrity of the food, the simplicity. We're not going to try to wow, what was that I just ate?
Yeah, okay. Sure.
We want you to see the food, understand the food, and it's all about taste. Of course, we want it to look nice, but the bestest. Another coffee. The best ingredients, and properly prepared.
He has a secret vegetarian menu, which is amazing.
Ooh. Why do you laugh? Is that a real thing, or does he?
Just, I want a vegetarian menu. Listen up there, and I go. A patio would be nice back here. No, vegetarian menu.
Like you'll
But a
get your patio when you have a vegetarian menu. But I always order the vegetarian menu, even though it kind of doesn't exist, and it's so
It does exist.
amazing.
I bet we have one tonight. You asked for one. We fulfill your.
It's amazing, though. It's
Yeah.
so good. Yeah.
I've noticed a lot of the. Sorry, I was going to say. I noticed a lot of the most respected and top chefs in the world. Vegetables are at a core of what they do. It's really. It kind of took me by surprise when I started getting into food and learning more about food.
What's he talking about?
Right? Vegetarian
It's
menu.
like-
We shouldn't be
Vegetables,
surprised with
what?
your
What?
go-to thing being a burger with just cheese
Oh,
and French fries
French
on
fries.
top, right?
Oh yeah, well, plus dips. I'm
That's a
big on-
vegetable, right?
You
That's
got
his
us there.
vegetable. Yeah.
So it is the center of your favorite cuisine, then, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. No, I mean, we use lots of vegetables. So that's why when we have on our TOC reservation system, TOCK, where you go online to book your experience, if you're, sometimes it's crazy, vegan, vegetarian, lacto, whatever, or ovo-lac.
Where's it?
Like,
We
I
have
don't
to
even know.
to Google some of
know.
this stuff, and we put a little line down. Yes, no. So it's again, it's all about taking care of the guest.
Yeah.
So if that's what you want, that's what we'll make. We've had guests come in and go like, oh, they want to move inside. We don't have a table. I go, we'll take one from outside. We'll make it happen.
He always makes it happen. Whatever anybody. You're really
Yeah.
good at that.
I try. I mean. Imagine myself if there was. Well, it is hospitality.
Yeah, it is.
You
You
come
got
here.
it.
I'm really doing something I like, and so it's all about me. But if you don't like, if you don't like it, there's nothing about me.
Sure.
If I'm not making you happy,
Yeah.
giving you what you want, then there's I don't have a job, and I'm not doing what I want to do.
Right.
That's why I gave up motocross. I wasn't making myself happy or anyone else. I couldn't win.
Right.
I fell a lot, and that doesn't make me happy. It hurts. So anyway,
Well, I think it all is kind of captured in what you just said. You said when people are booking their experience, right? Just the way that you say that, I think is fantastic, right? It's not when they're making the reservation, that's cold, right?
Yeah.
That's experience is a different thing.
I'm not that chef, and I've seen a few chefs like, I can't believe they want it like this, and they'll be screaming, and maybe one joke. Well, until you got a line out the door, you just have to be quiet.
Yeah.
And you're not an artist, really. An artist wakes up in the morning and, it's not a nice day. I'm going to stay in bed.
Yeah.
As a chef, you have a bunch of people waiting for you.
Yep.
And customers coming. Bad day, good day. You have to come in. But it really is about making everybody happy. There's a lot of things I don't like, so I understand. And then, sometimes there's people, they're not coming in for you about the food.
Yeah.
They're coming in for that nice dining room, the service, their
cool
names
bathrooms.
recognized.
Yeah.
Cool bathrooms. Yeah.
Cool bathrooms, I don't care. Just make a reservation at Christopher's and talk to me. No, and I'll say that to someone. Someone says, they just ordered the steak well done. They like it like that. They didn't come here for, they came here for an experience.
Yeah.
The beautiful view, someone to wait on them, might be all about wine. I knew a customer that quit going to, back in the day, a long time ago, Houston's, only because they quit serving those little Cokes in the bottle, He liked it. That's why he came there. You should be happy he came there, We're happy that you come to the restaurant.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, in my opinion, it's any piece of art any form of art is the people, the clients are the ones that dictate the market.
Yeah.
Right. Like I'm a huge music fan, and when all the stuff with streaming was going on and all this and that, and these musicians are, rightfully saying, hey, like it's like, hey man, that's the way the market goes, right? Things go. You have to be able to adjust to that.
Yeah.
So what if I came and ordered a steak and asked for ketchup?
We get it for you.
Heinz?
Yeah, we might spill it on you, but no, we had someone that had a while back. They put Tabasco on everything they had. Okay, but they had a great time.
Yeah.
I'm just happy people come and like what I do, what we've created, and if you want it that way, that's fine. You're here. We want to make you happy.
Is Tabasco something you keep in your kitchen, or was someone tearing down the hill to go?
No, we ran up here to Jordy's, which we do. We have a lot of sharing. Ashley might run out of something, and we usually have a stockpile of foie gras and truffles and stuff like that. And sometimes when that person comes in and says, I'm a pescatarian, so we have the tasting menu, which is a set menu on Friday, Saturday. As it gets busier, when season comes back, that'll expand. We have the classic menu, which is 3 courses that are things that we're known for through the decades, that has choices. And then we have the kind of bistro lunch menu. So we don't have a lot of product. We have the product we sell. You go online and pre-order. And so someone comes in with a special dietary restriction, or just I don't eat this, we can run up to Jordy's. They buy, the best product as well. So we can kind of help each other.
I guess
make your things happen.
And it helps too, because I didn't realize, or you had said it, but I just didn't put 2 and 2 together. When they go and book their experience online, they're choosing their meal and stuff at that point as well.
Yeah, so for like Friday, Saturday right now, it's a tasting menu.
Okay.
So be surprised.
Yeah.
And there's options of things that you can add on to it. And there's also a field like likes and dislikes, or allergies, or, all that stuff. And then you can see the menu for our classics. That's Tuesday through Thursday.
Okay.
And then our lunch menu, which is also set up the same way. Choice of 4 appetizers, 4 main courses, 3 desserts.
Okay. Gotcha. And that gives you that.
So we're like 3 concepts in one.
Yeah.
Brunch will happen probably in September or
And maybe
October.
a drink on the patio.
Oh, yeah. Ooh. That's the big thing. That undiscovered patio, it's discovered.
Yeah, the main
I haven't
patio.
discovered it yet.
Huh?
Yeah,
No, I
the
think we
main
need
patio.
to discover that, yeah.
Oh, the mini patio with the
main-
vegetarian menu.
yeah.
Got it.
The veggie patio. That's it. Yeah.
But that's another thing planned to launch over there, too, is like, let's say after 10 o'clock, 9 o'clock, whenever, I'm designing a roving classic cocktail cart.
Ah, nice.
So you come up, watch the beautiful lights, the nighttime, and have a drink.
Yeah.
Nice place to finish the night.
Oh yeah.
I like it.
We hope to capture everyone coming out of Jordy's and say
That's
one
One
more.
more. One last
Somebody
drink.
on the cart
It's
chasing
Uber.
them down.
Yeah, we'll chase you down the hill with that cart.
Gotta
You
have
can
somebody
sit on it and
strong.
let it roll down and
There
have a
it is.
drink.
Seriously.
There's once again another idea that I think this is going to get
So
some
we got
legs.
him for the spam
Yep.
to go. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I'm keeping track too. So
When I book my experience, I'm expecting both of those things: a rolling cocktail cart to bring me down the hill and spam to go.
Well, actually, we already have on the tasting menu Friday and Saturday, the roving cocktail cart, a smaller version of it comes up, and we do a sort of a French-inspired classic cocktail. That starts your dinner out, and then at second champagne, and there's lots of little fun things,
yeah,
surprises.
I dig it.
Yeah, well, for anyone who's listening to this episode, you definitely have to book a tour of this property because it is like nothing I've personally really seen in Arizona. You go up to places like Prescott and you get kind of the old architecture, but nothing like this. This feels like it's almost straight out of the East Coast or something like that with the way it's built. The men's bathroom being nice and slim like that. You don't really see bathrooms designed like that anymore. But yeah, people come check this place out, book a dinner at Christopher's or come to the wine bar or Jordy's, and keep an eye out for the article on Wrigley Mansion in the next magazine.
Fantastic. Thank
you
you for
guys
having
for
us.
joining.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. This was fun.
I'm glad you liked
Good.
it.
Good. You were a little nervous. You were
Yeah,
a
I
little
was.
nervous.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Didn't know what to
Good.
expect.
Good. All right. Good. Mission accomplished. We
Yeah.
need to see this place. We've seen like 10% of it. I'm ready for the
The
official
tour.
tour.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.